And I think the way our returned soldiers are being treated poorly. Ben Roberts-Smith, he's a legend. He fought on behalf of this country, and what is being done to him is an absolute disgrace. I could go on for hours because, you know, those people are dedicated, and I speak to them on a regular basis, and they're disappointed the way they've been treated. And it all comes back to the politicians of this country. And I don't have much time for our politicians. Over a long time frame, they've sold this country off to the rest of the world. And you can go through all the things that we used to own and we don't now. But as a nation, we have to support our soldiers. And this presentation to you tonight, Mr. Mayor, if you wear this ribbon, it shows that you support Ben Roberts-Smith. So can I come forward and present this to you?
For sure, Councillor Page.
Thank you.
Thank you. Look, thank you, Councillor Page. I understand return servicemen are really important. I don't know the circumstances of Ben Roberts-Smith or what has happened, but what I do know is if you have to spend $300 million in 10 years to finally charge someone, you've partook in a fishing expedition rather than justice. So I'll happily wear this, Councillor Page, because we have our own Victoria Cross winners in town. We honour him via a statue, and to have a Victoria Cross recipient that was and is a hero of Australia, to spend $300 million to have that person firstly charged, not convicted but charged, is a national disgrace.
Thank you very much for your comments, Mr. Mayor. Both you and I could talk for a lot longer on in regard to bringing back people to this country that have been dedicated to destroying us, and yet we're flying them back in. And this country is divided at the moment, and it's heartbreaking.
Thank you, Councillor Page. I call on Councillor Gillett to deliver the prayer.
Almighty God, we ask you to invoke your blessing upon this council. Direct and prosper our deliberations to the advancement and true welfare of the people of the council area, our state and Australia. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Councillor Edgecombe.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land upon which we meet today, the land of the Willakali people, and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging.
Thank you. Councillor Jewett.
Thank you. We take time to reflect, remember and honour the over 800 miners that lost their lives and those that were crippled or maimed on the line of load. We thank the brave miners and their wives who were part of the 1919 to 1920 strike that lasted over 500 days and delivered a 35-hour working week. Mining is our past and future.
Thank you. Minutes for confirmation that the minutes of the ordinary meeting of the Council of the City of Broken Hill held on 29th of April 26 be confirmed.
Move the minutes.
Moved Deputy Mayor Hickey, seconded Councillor Allgate. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Disclosures of interest. Do any councillors have any disclosures of interest? Nil disclosures of interest. We have nil mayoral minutes, nil notices of motion, nil notices rescission, and nil reports from delegates. Item 12 is the committee reports, infrastructure and environment. Broken Hill City Council report, minutes of the Project Consultative Committee Project Steering Group meeting held on the 4th of December 2025 and March 4, 2026 on page 18 of the business paper. Do we have a move of that? Move Councillor Gillett. Yeah, Councillor Gillett.
I'd like to move that we add Jim Champion as a community representative to that group.
So at number 6, we invite Jim Champion to be a member of the Project Consultative Committee. Do we have a seconded Deputy Mayor Hickey? Any speakers on the Project Consultative Committee minutes? Councillor Allgate and then Deputy Mayor Hickey.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I've often spoke about this particular report that we haven't always received, but in the recent 18 months, 2 years, we have. It's a report that, whilst it may not be all that important in the overall scheme of things, from a councillor's perspective and from the public's point of view, it gives those people, councillors included, a close look at what the council's been doing. And in this particular environment, with the costs the way they've been and everything changing week by week, council has had a heap of projects on the go. So many it's just been hard to keep up with. And unless you get a report like this that details every aspect of the reports of the projects, what stage they're at, how the money's going, and all of those things are in the report. I mean, as a councillor, I don't know everything that the council's doing in terms of work. I know the major projects like the library, the netball courts, the town square, the work at the airport and so on, but there are lots of other things being done. And this gives a detailed and comprehensive breakdown of everything that's been happening, why it's happening, what it's costing, and at what stage we're at. And I think it's a great thing, particularly if the public can read.
Thank you. Councillor Aldgate. Deputy Mayor Hickey.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I'm chairman of that committee, and I'd like to thank Rebecca and her team for just a great job for the last 18 months or so. As Councillor Aldgate said, it's just the whole committee is a good committee. They all work well together. Our town representatives are really good, turn up at all the meetings and input quite strongly. And I just think it's a great committee and going very well. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you to our acting infrastructure and environmental manager. Is that correct? Thank you. Any other speakers? All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 2 is the minutes of the local transport forum meeting. Number 5 held on Tuesday, the 5th of May, 2026 on page 89 of the business paper.
Move the minutes.
Move Councillor Aldgate, seconded Councillor Chandler. Councillor Aldgate.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. It's all laid out in the report, but I'll just go through them a bit. There's been an application by the Wildlife Information Rescue and Education Services for wildlife protection signs on 2 highways in Broken Hill, the Barrier Highway and the Menindee Road. The forum supports the installation of those, and we'll work with whoever is involved to have them installed. The Transport Forum supports a request to close Argent Street from Delamore Street to Sulphide Street, and also to have the bus zone adjacent to the Palace Hotel lengthened or doubled in length so that it can take 2 coaches at a time during the Light Fest and the Light Fest Festival that's due to be on at the Monday Light Fest. So that meets the approval of the forum. An application to close Chloride Street actually today for the Reconciliation March was supported by the forum. And about the only topical thing that needs to be said is there's still a problem with rideshare zones for picking up and drop off and pick up. The forum secretary and the chairman have made several attempts, numerous attempts to contact the local taxi company owner without success. There's no particular dedicated phone and no address. So the idea was to have an audit of taxi ranks, because when you've only got 1, perhaps 2 taxis on the run and you've got a dozen taxi ranks that are not being used, it needs to be looked at a little bit more seriously. And the forum has decided that in the absence of being able to contact them or receive anything back from them, that we would hope the council would agree to, given them 14 days notice. Otherwise, we'll move ahead and do the audit on the taxi ranks and try and implement more parking spots for rideshare, because rideshare is carrying the load in Broken Hill now. And, you know, there've been a lot of work put into the 3 or 4 rideshare groups that are working together. We don't want to lose any of them. We want to do what, as far as I'm concerned, we should be doing everything we can to help them. And that's about the main things. There's Peter Bevan, who's been a long-standing member, a community member of the committee, or what was the committee and now the forum, has submitted a letter of resignation. He's retired, and it suggested, and the mayor also agreed, that he be given a letter of correspondence expressing the council and the committee's appreciation for the work he's done over the years, because he has played, particularly in the early years, he's played a very big role on some of the outback highways, and give him a small gift in recognition of the something like 30 odd years that he devoted to you know, the Transport Committee and now the Transport Forum. And that's about it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Allgate. Yes, any other councillors want to speak? No? Look, yeah, Mr. Peter Bevan's been on there a long time. He's been on that committee for as long as I've been a councillor. Fran McKinnon was on it. Marion Brown has been on it for a long time, on and off. So he will be missed. You lose a lot of knowledge and experience when people that have had a long time dealing with committees. So I really do wish Mr. Peter Bevan the very best. Just on the ride share, like taxis, I would assume that rideshare are not going to use the ranks as long stay. They'll be pick up and drop off as taxi would be able to. So there may be something that can be done beyond, because they're not going to be parking spaces, because rideshare is a pick up drop off. So they're not going to be sitting there for hours anyway. So there may be other things that can be done there. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. The Finance and Governments Committee, item number 1 is the annual fees, mayors, councillors for the 2026-27 financial year. Do we have a mover? Moved Councillor Allgate, seconded Councillor Gillett. Councillor Allgate.
I think it's a sensible move, given that you know, the cost of living. I noticed today on the late news that the CPI, or the inflation rate, has moved up to 4.2% up till April. What we're talking about is 3.7%, and we're low. We're not anywhere near the top bracket of the allowance. So I think it's a reasonable request. In saying that, I just point to last week. I think nearly all councillors had 8 meetings, and the time that's spent in those sort of meetings, getting to and from the council and all the rest of it, putting in a bit of time beforehand to prepare yourself for what the meeting's all about. It all takes time and a lot of effort on some occasions, particularly when you get a run of meetings altogether. There are other weeks where you get very few, and sometimes not any. But over the year, a councillor does a fair bit, a lot more than a lot of people think.
Thank you, Councillor Allgate. It's on page 103 of the business paper. Do we have any other speakers? Councillor Page.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. To encourage young people to join council, they cannot give up their financial future, and it has a burden on your financial future. So for us to encourage younger people to join council, You can't expect them to come and give up all their time, their family time, their financial future. So I think it won't affect me because I won't be standing for council again, but we have to think of the young people coming on. You want them to represent the city. You have to give them a fee that represents the time and effort they put in. So I think the local government need to look at, if you look at other states, they'd get 4 times more than there's some councils in Australia get huge amounts of financial income from local government. So I think us to have to make sure we increase the fees so you can encourage young people. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, councillor Page. Any other speakers? All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 2 is the renaming of the Broken Hill Regional Aquatic Centre on page 192 of the business paper. Do we have a mover for that? Move councillor Gillett, seconded councillor Jewett. Councillor Gillett.
I read with interest about why the name was changing in accordance with our other assets, but I also think it gives us a new beginning because we've had a very rough 3 years with the pool and with the management. So I think this will sort of represent something to the community that we're starting fresh and it's all new. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Gillett. Do we have any other speakers? Councillor Allgate.
Just to say that I think the city needs to be incorporated in a lot of the council. We've got to hang on to that tag, even though we might not be considered to be a city in lots of places, but we are here and we need to retain that.
Look, I think it's really important that we have city on all our assets simply because when you go do a search, we are Broken Hill City. We may not be considered city when people speak. I can tell you we're legally a city and we need to promote. We're not a town, we're not a village, we are a city. We are the city of Broken Hill. We're one of about 40 cities in New South Wales, or 16, whatever there is, we're one of them. And the thing is, so if you look them up, Broken Hill's proudly there as a city and we should be wherever promoting it. It was changed to the Regional Aquatic Centre many, many years ago simply because at the time there was a push for Broken Hill region and funding, a lot of the funding went to regional. So if you had regional in your name, it opened up other funding streams. But the reality is it's the people of Broken Hill and the people of the Broken Hill City that pay for our Broken Hill City Aquatic Centre. It's also important that we do have our coat of arms, and our coat of arms does look really good. It will be at our library when it opens and it looks fantastic. So I support it wholeheartedly. Is there any other speaker? All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 3 is the investment report for April 26 on page 194 of the business paper. Do we have a mover for that? Move councillor Allgate, seconded councillor Jewett. Councillor Allgate.
Oh, nothing much to say. The council's going pretty well. I mean, we've got a bit of flexibility now that we have that revolving loan. So if we don't get some of the grant funds at the appropriate time, we've got something to cover them. And if we are able to get other grants that might have to be matched, it gives us some flexibility in that respect. But given the circumstances financially all over the world, I think we're doing pretty well.
Thank you, councillor Allgate. Any other speakers? All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 13, further reports, correspondence report, Sydney to Broken Hill passenger train service. We have a move on page 211. Do we have a mover for that?
I'll move it.
Move councillor Allgate, seconded councillor Page. Councillor Allgate.
All I'd like to say is it's a service that we need to continue and expand if possible. It and the problem, if you talk to people that have used the train to go to Sydney from here in recent times, the thing that makes it more unpleasant is the fact that they've got to get up early in the morning to catch the coach, and the coach travel is not all that flash. And then when they get on the train, they're quite happy. But I mean, we can't afford to do without it. We've got to maintain at least what we've got and hopefully grow what we've got. And now that this inquiry is on and they're looking at all the rail services, it's an opportune time to make sure that they hear us.
For sure. Any other speakers? Councillor Page?
Yes, Mr Mayor, I have used this service and it's quite clear the current train we have has got arthritis. It squeaks more than it's a squeaky old ride, and it's time we were treated with a new train. You go to Sydney, which I go to Sydney, see my grandchildren, and their trains are fantastic. And yet we've got an old train out here that's gone past its use-by date.
Yes, look, we're out here in the bush, we deserve the same as everyone else. And the reality is 30 or 40 years ago, lots of people used the train because the train services were of a much higher standard and were much more regularly out here, so it was more used. So the service has been neglected, which has resulted in people using it. Councillor Turley?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I was just going to add that one of the things that council could do is when the Strategic Regional Integrated Transport Plan, the draft is being consulted, that we promote it and that we as council put in a submission to it.
Thank you, Councillor Turley. We'll add that as a number 3 if you like. Are you happy to accept that, Councillor Allgate? Yeah. Councillor Page, you happy to accept that? All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 2, impact of current fuel crisis on tourism to the Far West region of New South Wales on page 215. We have a mover for that. Move Councillor Gillett, seconded Councillor Allgate.
Yeah.
Councillor Gillett. Councillor Allgate.
Well, if we listen to the government, there's not a problem with fuel supplies. We're still left with a cost factor. And in terms of tourism, I was surprised. I went to Adelaide by road the other day, and I was surprised to still see the number of caravans that are on the road. So it hasn't stopped some people, but I'd reckon if things don't change before the Monday Bash, it'll be a real shame for this particular town.
Yeah.
Some of the business people in town, they just hang on until Monday Bash happens, and then there's a boom. And if the current fuel crisis continues, which it may not do, given that Trump has, once again said he's got another deal, another ceasefire. But if the ceasefire falls through, God knows what's going to happen in the long term.
Thank you, Councillor Allgate. Councillor Deputy Mayor Hickey.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. Councillor Allgate, you're right that but in the last 2 weeks, the caravans have hit the road again, and people are starting to travel. I think they've had a gutful of sitting in their cities, worrying about everything, and they're now on the move. All roads leading to the town have been lots of caravans and that on at the moment. So I think the ministers have listened to us, our letter, and got them off their bum, their mobile again. So I think things are on the improve for the rest. Should be for the rest of this year. And Monday's 95% sold out. So we definitely that's going to get all that crowd. So I think that is real positive for the city. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Deputy Mayor Hickey for getting this moving. He did speak. He did go to Canberra recently and speak to the Prime Minister. So, no, look, like everything, people eventually stop worrying, they move on. It's particularly when fuel prices started going the other way, and they have gone down. So as soon as people see any positive, a lot of that fear that people have of uncertainty starts to go away. They suddenly realise that the world's not falling, and thankfully for our tourism operators, that people have turned around. Deputy Mayor Hickey was recently in Pooncarie where he noticed that there's an increase. And I'd say if you've seen an increase in Pooncarie, you most definitely seen an increase in Broken Hill, and which is evident out at the plaza where you see a lot of caravans. So things have turned around. People will also be, people in Broken Hill should be happy that we're getting a step closer to our Tourism Association getting back up and running. Council's going through the process now of formulating just how it will run. So hopefully that will be up and running in the coming months, and we can get a strategy and a focus on tourism so that we in advance can deal with these matters or have strategies in place that reduce or mitigate the risk of downturns in the tourism sector. All those in favour? Declared it carried unanimously. Item number 3 is correspondence, lack of accessibility in bariatric transport services in Broken Hill on page 220 of the business paper. Moved Councillor Gillett, seconded Councillor Jewett. Councillor Gillett.
Reading in here about the Far West Local Health District, their bariatric transport is only for their own patients. So if anyone has to go to Adelaide, there is no bariatric services here. They have to actually send a transport from Adelaide back up to Broken Hill to pick that patient up. And that's really quite appalling because a lot of people will come under that category. Yes. Secondly, there's feedback can be provided. So I think we all should be advertising that so that we can have our say about the transport plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Look, at least it's a step in the right direction because where this all started was when a member of the public contacted the council who was stuck in hospital for over 18 months, unable to get a home. So at least now the hospital does have something that is able to take their patients home. So that's a step forward. It's not perfect, and those ambulances have to come from Dubbo and they have to be booked, so they're very difficult to get. So there is a lot to be done, but at least the local hospital has taken a step in the right direction. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 4 is the Community Assistance Grants awarded in round 1, 2026-27, page 224. Do we have a mover for that? Moved Councillor Allgate, seconded Councillor Turley. Councillor Allgate.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. The committee, the panel on the committee was happy with I think there were 8 or 10 applications, 2 of which didn't conform because they'd previously had grants, but all applicants eventually received a grant. Most of them got what they asked for. So I think all in all, everybody's reasonably happy. I know that the fact that the committee, with the authorisation of the council, implemented a 2-year stop, every 2 years you could make an application, and that does work against people like the Carols by Candlelight and sometimes other people. But I think the way we handled it on this particular occasion was to still include them and give them what they, with the council's support, give them what they're entitled to. So all in all, I think it was a good result.
Thank you, Councillor Allgate. We have other speakers.
Mr. Mayor, I wonder if, and I congratulate all those that applied for the grants. It's such an interesting mix. I wonder with the Carols by Candlelight, if there's an opportunity for council to have an MOU so that they don't have to apply every year, if that was something we could investigate.
I think council is looking at ways to make it more streamlined anyway. With Carols by Candlelights, I think it's just a move over application. So I believe that it's sort of been sorted. They understand that it can't be every biannually, particularly the golf club, the Carol by Candlelights, and it just moves through that community assistance grants because that's where we want the more or less the line item to come out of. Is that correct, General Manager? Any other speakers? All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 5 is the minutes of the City Art Gallery Advisory Committee held April 30, 2026 on page 233 of the business paper. Do we have a mover for that? Move Councillor Chandler, seconded Councillor Gillett. Councillor Chandler?
Yeah, it's a good outcome for this anonymous fundraiser to support MND research. I think it's a lot fairer than most other art competitions. We don't see the name of the person there till they've won or at the end of it. I think we should get a hell of a lot of people go for it. It should be a good setup.
Yes, other speakers? Yeah, look, I think it was probably timely at the time, given that Neil Danaher died just recently, survived 13 years and invested or contributed via fundraising many millions of dollars. So anything that can raise awareness of motor neuron disease, particularly given that Pro Heart did die from motor neuron disease, I think the council's happy to support it, and the Art Gallery Committee was definitely happy to support it. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Minutes of the Picton Section 355 Oval Sports Ground Community Meeting held on the 20th of April on page 238. Do we have a mover for that? Move Councillor Page, seconded Councillor Turley. Councillor Page? No, it's a good committee.
Well, Mr Mayor, it clashes with the standing committee meeting on council, so it's hard to attend 2 meetings at the same time.
Okay, we might have to do something about one of them then, Councillor Page. All those in favour? Declared carried unanimously. Item number 7 is the nomination appointment of the community representative to the Section 355 Memorial Oval Committee meeting on page 242. Do we have a mover for that? Move Councillor Edgecombe, seconded Councillor Allgate. Councillor Edgecombe?
Just want to say I think he'll make a great addition to the committee and will contribute a lot to that area. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Any other speakers? No. All those in favour? Declare it carried unanimously. Item number 8 is the action list on page 247. Do we have a mover for that? Move Councillor Allgate, seconded Councillor Gillett. Councillor Allgate?
It's all going well.
They are all going well. Any other speakers? All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Questions taken on notice from the previous council meeting on page 269. Do we have a mover for that? Move Councillor Jewett, seconded Councillor Gillett. Councillor Jewett? All good. All those in favour? Declare it carried unanimously. Questions for next meeting arising from items on the agenda. Is there any other questions that councillors would like for the agenda for next? Councillor Turley?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm just wondering if we could have an update when the Heritage Committee will be meeting. I think it's been some time and I've had somebody in the community ask me who's been nominated and is appointed to that committee, but we haven't had a meeting to date.
So I can give you a bit of a update, and I have told people that have also asked me, no one's nominating for the committee. So there's not enough people to hold a meeting.
Could we then reduce the quorum? We have 2 community reps.
So we have 2. I don't think you'd have a quorum of 2.
No, we have 2 community reps plus the councillors. I think before we only had 3 community reps or 4. But I just wonder, so we can progress it, can we review the quorum of that committee?
We can bring it to the next standing committee to just have a look at, if you like, Councillor Turley.
Thank you. And one more question for next meeting. And thank you for raising the library. It's so exciting. Can we have a report on And it may have happened when I missed a meeting, but on the archives, so what will happen to the state of the archives when we move and how will they be managed? Thanks.
Yep, a report back for that. No worries. All those, any other questions? Sorry. No. We move on to confidential matters. We have a mover and a seconder go into closed section. Move Councillor
that one.
Turley, seconded Councillor Edgecombe. All those actually, we've got something we have to put. Before putting to the vote, advise that as per the Council Code of Meeting Practice, members of the public can apply to make representations to Council as to whether the meeting should be closed to Council to consider a particular item in the opinion of the General Manager. The item listed for consideration is closed session at this meeting is a kind as referred to in section 10 of the local government. We had nil applications for this presentation. So we have one confidential matter that is going into it, and it's a Memorial Oval Community Committee Management meeting. So all those in favour to go into closed session? Carried unanimously. Thank you, everyone that stayed. I will pass to the General Manager to read out the resolution passed in closed session.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council resolved in confidential session item 1, section 355, Memorial Oval Community Committee Management. Council resolved 1, that Broken Hill City Council report number 65/26 dated April 28, 2026 be received. 2, that under section 2.5 of Council section 355 Asset Committee Manual, Council conduct an internal review collaboratively with the committee to define the committee's capacity to meet the governance, operational, financial and administrative requirements outlined within Council section 355 committee framework and report to Council the findings of the review and any further recommendation for Council's consideration. 3, that as per Council section 355 Asset Committee Manual, Council appoints Councillor Edgecombe as chairperson of the Memorial Oval Management Committee. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, General Manager. Given that there's no further business, I declare the meeting closed at 7:15. Thank you, everyone.